One of the biggest misconceptions I hear is this: I bought hearing aids, so why am I still struggling? The truth is, hearing aids can make a tremendous difference, but they can't restore normal hearing. They can't remove every trace of background noise, restore hearing to what it was years ago, or make conversations clear when someone's speaking from another room. That's why successful hearing care usually involves more than simply putting on a device. It also requires the right fitting, time to adjust, realistic expectations, better communication habits, and, in many cases, support from family members. I'm Jennifer Abbott, owner of Hear at Home in North Vancouver. I'm a registered hearing instrument practitioner, and since 2009, I've been providing hearing care in our boutique clinic in North Vancouver, in people's homes throughout Greater Vancouver, and in retirement and long-term care homes. Hearing loss is about more than volume. One of the biggest misunderstandings about hearing loss is that everything simply needs to be made louder. But hearing loss can also affect how clearly the brain understands speech, especially when there's background noise or more than one person is speaking. That means someone may hear that you're talking but still struggle to understand what you're saying. Making everything louder doesn't solve that problem. The goal of hearing care isn't simply to increase the volume. It's to help the person communicate more comfortably and effectively in the situations that matter most to them. That might mean following a conversation with a spouse, hearing family members at dinner, watching television, speaking on the phone, or participating more easily in social environments. Hearing aids often require time and adjustment. Every person's hearing loss is different, so hearing aids need to be programmed according to their hearing test results and individual needs. But even when the initial programming is accurate, the brain may need time to adjust. Many people have spent years gradually missing certain sounds. When those sounds are suddenly reintroduced, everyday noises can seem unusually sharp, loud, or distracting. For someone wearing hearing aids for the first time, I'll often begin at a lower level rather than immediately setting the hearing aids to their full target. Otherwise, the amount of sound can feel overwhelming. As the person becomes more comfortable and the brain begins adjusting, we can gradually increase the amplification and fine-tune the settings. That's one reason follow-up appointments are so important. The goal isn't simply to make hearing aids louder. It's to improve comfort, sound quality, and speech understanding as the person gains experience wearing them in everyday life. If you already have hearing aids but you're still struggling, it may be worth having the fitting and settings reviewed before assuming the devices simply don't work for you. Hearing aids don't give someone bionic hearing. Another important part of hearing care is helping families develop realistic expectations. I've seen family members test someone's new hearing aids by walking away and asking, "Can you hear me now?" Then they keep moving farther away, sometimes into another room, and ask again, "What about now?" I have to remind them that the person is wearing hearing aids. They don't have bionic hearing. Even people with normal hearing may struggle to understand someone who's speaking from another room, facing away, or competing with background noise. Hearing aids can help, but good communication still matters. That means getting the person's attention before speaking, facing them so they can see your face, speaking clearly at a natural pace, reducing background noise when possible, and avoiding conversations from another room. Many people with hearing loss also rely more on facial expressions and lip movements than they realize. We saw this clearly during the pandemic, when masks made communication much more difficult for many people with hearing loss. The visual information had been helping them fill in what they couldn't hear. The whole family may need to make changes. Hearing loss affects more than the person wearing the hearing aids. It affects everyone involved in the conversation. That's why I appreciate it when a spouse, adult child, or caregiver is present during a fitting or follow-up appointment. They can help explain where communication is most difficult. They can also learn how to support the person without expecting the hearing aids to do everything. In my experience, people often adapt more successfully when they have family members who understand what to expect and how to help. That support might include encouraging consistent use, helping with charging or maintenance, or simply changing the way conversations happen at home. It's not about treating the person as incapable. It's about creating the conditions that give them the best chance of succeeding. Why the home environment matters. People don't communicate the same way at home as they do in a quiet clinic. An in-home appointment allows me to see where the person is actually having difficulty. That may be hearing the television, talking with the spouse across the room, communicating with caregivers, hearing the telephone or doorbell, or following conversations when there's background noise. It can also reveal practical issues that may affect success. For example, lighting and seating arrangements can influence how well someone sees the person speaking. Dexterity or vision may affect whether they can insert, clean, and maintain the hearing aids. A family member or caregiver may need help with daily hearing aid care. Seeing the person in their own environment gives us a more complete picture than the hearing test alone. It helps ensure the recommendation fits not only their hearing loss, but also the way they live and communicate. Hearing aids are only one part of the solution. They work best when they're properly fitted, adjusted over time, and supported by good communication strategies and follow-up care. That's what gives people the best chance of hearing well in everyday life. The goal isn't simply to own hearing aids. The goal is to use them successfully and communicate more easily in everyday life. I often tell people that I don't just fit hearing aids. I help people communicate better. Hearing aids are simply one of the tools we use to make that happen. If you already have hearing aids but you're still struggling, it doesn't necessarily mean your hearing aids aren't working. They may simply need to be adjusted. You may need different communication strategies, or your listening environment may need a few changes. Family support can make a major difference, but buying hearing aids for a parent without involving them can easily backfire. So watch this next video where I explain the 5 questions families should ask before buying hearing aids for a parent. And if you live on the North Shore, we can assess how your hearing aids are working, understand the situations where you're still struggling, and provide personalized support in clinic or in your own home.